Today topic, to be honest, guys. Not too long coming in, man. Bummer, just out here rather busy as always, right? Just busy as always and all of that. So I came to give you guys a content rather. I know you guys saw the title and it's a rather troubling, bizarre story, but just wait a minute. Hold your horses. I'm going to unpack the story and let you guys know what's happening as always. We always come around with some story and we always shout out first. But how was you guys' weekend, man? It's Saturday, Sunday morning right now. It's 12:34 my time. So it's Sunday already for me. How about you? Have you been doing well, you all? Feeling good? Health, wealth, strength? Everything good? Hope everything is airy. Hope everything is great. Hope everything is good. Everybody's doing well. And always, 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 at the end of the day, no matter what we're going through, we still have God in the midst. And we're still going to push on and do the best that we can as human beings, right? So let's get into this topic, guys. I want to say thank you for the new subscribers and thank you for the loyal subscribers. And for those that haven't subscribed yet, please do so and let we continue to grow and continue to discuss lots of topics that you don't see anywhere else other than over here. So let's unpack. Okay, guys, I'm going to read to the best of my ability. Okay, now, so you guys be like, oh man, where did you get that story? Don't worry. We always say it's good to read, right? So let's unpack the story. So now, guys, this guy is a baseball player. Tampa Bay baseball player. Say who now? Tampa Bay baseball player. What is so troubling and disturbing, people? He also paid off the 14-year-old child mother. What is he accused of, people? Sexually abusing a minor in the Dominican Republic and also paid off the mother. Allegedly, they claim, but the mom got years in prison and he received a suspended 2-year prison sentence. So basically, you shout because he's a baseball player. Obviously, he's privileged. Why he gets this suspended 2-year sentence, or his money worked for him by paying this lawyer for him not to go down into 101 on the child registry list. We get to understand as well that in the Dominican Republic, they don't have jury trials. This was all occur in front of judges and all of that situation. So let's unpack the story quick and fast, 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 okay? And we're going to run on quickly, okay? So Wander Franco found guilty of sexually abusing Dominican Republic. Tampa Bay's shortstop Wander Franco was found guilty Thursday of sexual abuse of a minor in the Dominican Republic and received a suspended 2-year prison sentence. In order to avoid serving prison time, Franco will reportedly have to meet several conditions set by a judge, including not approaching minors with sexual intentions. The decision can be appealed to two higher courts. So, people, after he got a suspended 2-year sentence, you think he needs to appeal this? Appeal what? You're caught with a minor. What the hell in God's name, a baseball player like you, prominent baseball player out here kicking asses, people, sorry for my French, and you end up with a minor and paid off the mom, till you and the mom got locked up and you got your sentence suspended, and then you still able to appeal if you want to two courts. Mama mia, mama, that's troubling for me, but what can I say? Franco, 24, has not played for Tampa Bay since August 2023, a day before social media posts surfaced alleging that he had been involved in a relationship with a 14-year-old girl that started in December 2022, when he was 21 years old. Franco was then placed on administrative leave for the rest of 2023 season and again to start the 24 season. He was formally charged in the Dominican Republic in July 2024, at which point he was and has moved to Major League Baseball restricted list for failing to report to the team. Franco remains on a restricted list, not being paid or accruing major league service time. The Rays released the following statement on Thursday: "We respect the legal process in Dominican Republic and believe it's important to allow it to run its course. We will continue to fully cooperate with the Major League Baseball as it monitors the situation. Out of respect for everyone involved, we will not be providing any further comment on this time." Okay? At this time, on this time, they're not providing any further comment, okay? At this time. Franco also remains under investigation by the Major League Baseball, which can issue discipline under the Joint Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault, and Child Abuse Policy. Major League Baseball is proud to have collectively bargained joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy that reflects our commitment to these issues. The MLB said in a statement on Thursday, "We are aware of today's verdict in the Wander Franco trial and will conclude our investigation at the appropriate time." Okay, guys? Prosecutors in Dominican Republic filed charges alleging sexual abuse, sexual exploitation of a minor, and human trafficking against Franco last year. The trial had been scheduled for December before being delayed until this month. Prosecutor had been seeking 5-year prison sentence for Franco and a 10-year sentence against the minor's mother, who was also found guilty on Thursday, like I said to you guys, okay? According to the reporting from the ESPN, Jeff Passan, Thursday conviction could make it difficult for Franco to secure a visa to work in the United States and continue his once promising career in the majors. In a 2024 story, an athletic immigration expert were quoted as saying that anything short of a full exoneration, see, so he has to be getting like an exoneration, people, exoneration. If he doesn't get an exoneration, then would make it nearly impossible for Franco to return to the U.S. If Franco can't acquire a visa, he will continue to remain on a restricted list without pay for failure to report to the team. Okay, guys? So if you guys didn't hear about the story, I had to come and echo the story first to you guys, quickly, to let you guys know what's really happening right now. Okay, guys? So that was the story, that was the content, that was the highlight of the content, so to speak. So I want to get into the story, and I want to basically play actually the audio to you guys, so you guys could be more up to speed what's really happening in the story right now. Okay? So let's unpack the story some more. Okay?
Professional baseball player Wander Franco was found guilty of sexually abusing a minor and given a 2-year suspended prison sentence. A Dominican court ruled on Thursday. The 24-year-old was also fined, but will avoid jail time if he meets certain conditions laid out by a judge. Franco, once a star shortstop from Major League Baseball's Tampa Bay Rays, was accused of having a relationship with a 14-year-old girl, allegedly with her mother's consent. Prosecutors said the acts happened in the Dominican Republic and involved payments and travel amounting to exploitation. The victims mother was also convicted on Thursday and sentenced to 10 years in prison and fined.
Told you guys, this is
Prosecutors Jose
disgusting.
Martinez said they proved the victim's mother laundered money and exploited her daughter's vulnerability. Franco had been under investigation since August 2023 and placed on administrative leave by Major League Baseball. Once considered one of baseball's top young prospects, he signed an 11-year, $182 million contract extension
Worthless.
with the Rays in 2021.
Hear that?
He has not played in the major leagues since being placed on leave.
So guys, that was it. So did you guys imagine that, 180 something million, and you thought that just to be a pervert? He threw it at guys for just being a pervert, people, for just being a pervert, guys. Let's unpack the story some more, okay? Let's give you the nitty-gritty more,
Wander
okay?
Franco appeared in court in the Dominican Republic today for the first day of his trial. He is accused of having sex with a 14-year-old girl, paying off her mother to cover it up. Franco says that he is the victim of blackmail in this case. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joining us live in our Tampa newsroom with more on Franco's trial. I mean, this is getting heated.
Good evening, Keith. That it is. Wander Franco isn't being paid by the Tampa Bay Rays right now. He hopes to get back to baseball and his career, but this trial could take months. In 2023, Wander Franco was having an all-star season for the Tampa Bay Rays. He also had an 11-year, $182 million contract. But all of that came to a halt with serious allegations in his native country of the Dominican Republic. Prosecutors say he had a sexual relationship with the 14-year-old girl. Rays fan Juan Nicolache told us Franco must face justice.
Pervert.
If it's true, he has to pay for what he did. If it really is true, that children are untouchable.
Trial was set to begin for Franco in the Dominican last December, but when only 3 witnesses out of 30 showed up, prosecutors asked for a delay. Franco's defense team maintains he is innocent, and Rays fan Juan Nicolache says he believes the justice system in the Dominican has been tough on.
No, people. Imagine that. So here you are, promising young man, playing baseball with the Tampa's Rays. Sign a contract of 180 something million, and you throw that away to go and sleep with a 14-year-old child and pay off the mom when you realize that it was that bad. When you realize your ass should be in trouble, and still got a suspended sentence, 2-year suspended sentence, long as he stay away from children and some other stuff. I never hear nothing like that in my life. Then in the Dominican Republic, guys, there's no trial by juror. It's only by judge. Not only that, guys, he's in the Dominican Republic. If he doesn't secure a visa with that charge, the mom got 10 years sentence for selling her daughter, traffic her daughter's baseball player. Thursday, people, in this week, Thursday. So I had to come and shout to you guys quick and fast. No matter how exhausted I am, I had to come and say, people, did you guys hear this one about the baseball player? How we never hear it, but you heard it over here first.
Franco.
I believe the justice system is biased. Mother is involved in the case, and if he were someone without power or money, it's very unlikely that the woman will have approached him, or may her daughter approach him, if that was indeed the plan.
Prosecutors are also charging the young victim's mother with sexual exploitation and money
How do you
laundering.
sell your kids?
There are no jury trials in the Dominican.
Told
This
ya.
case will be heard by a panel of judges. Keith?
And it's going to take a while, I would imagine. So what's the possible sentence if Franco is found guilty, Jeff?
He faces a maximum of 20 years in prison, but you're right. This trial is going to take a long.
So he faced a maximum of 20 years and got 2 years, and then got 2 years suspended sentence, long as he stay away from children. So the $1 million that he was earning really worked out for him, guys. the $1 million contract that he had really work out for him, but it's so party. You better make sure that money lasts, because guess what? Now he has to try to come back to America on the visa to go and play. Okay, guys? The Tampa Rays from almost 2023 because of this case, people. So have you heard about this case where the big Tampa Ray Wander Franco baseball player found guilty of sleeping with a 14-year-old and paid off her mother? The mother for trafficking her daughter and all of that, and gave the mother 10 years in prison, guys. Never heard the story? Never heard the story, guys? Never heard the story? Oh my. Troubling, guys. Real troubling.
Quick little note, Wander Franco
Right?
has officially inked his 11-year, $182 million deal. If he extracts the entire value of the contract, he
Listen.
can make close to 220 million bones.
Listen.
This is easily the largest
Promising
deal
young man.
in franchise history.
Wander Franco, the shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays, has just signed an 11-year, $182 million contract in 2023. And
Blow it.
last year, the case is now starting to come to a head. But last year, he got charged with messing with the 14-year-old girl
Yeah.
down in Dominican Republic, where
No,
he's from.
sir.
Today in the Dominican Republic, the trial of Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco is expected to continue. He's facing charges of sexually abusing a minor and trafficking. During the first hearing on Monday, prosecutors introduced evidence against Franco and said they will call at least 7 witnesses. That trial could last 8 months.
I think this is a relevant
Right?
story that's obviously
Right, guys?
doing things with children is one of the most predatory crimes. And this Dominican Republic.
This is troubling for me. So did you guys see it on the news anywhere? Nope. Did you guys hear anything about it? Nope. They just plastered diddy 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 all diddy 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 diddy. We heard people. Only thing we hear in the news nowadays days, people, is diddy 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 diddy. Right, people? All we heard is about diddy 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 diddy, guys. Right? All we heard was diddy 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 diddy, right? Okay, guys? That's all we heard. Okay? From there, guys, let's unpack some stuff. So that was the content, that was the story, that was the highlight of this content, quick and fast, okay? Now, there's a guy who's basically saying that if Diddy walk, he will be first, that the man is coming after. Okay, guys? This guy is saying if Diddy walk, he will be the first Diddy is going to come in after, allegedly. All right? Allegedly. This guy is basically saying that if Diddy walks, okay, he will be the first one on the list. Now, guys, if you're coming in late in this content, that's what I keep on saying. Try to rewatch the content, guys. Try to rewatch the live, because at time I cannot continue to repeat myself. If you're just coming in, walking in, riding in, running in, jumping in this live, the content was about that baseball player that you guys see on the content, okay? His lovely face is up there. His pervert face is up there. He was charged of sleeping with a 14-year-old child sold by the mother in the Dominican Republic. That boy is a promising baseball player for the Tampa Rays, baseball player in United States. Yes? You guys didn't hear about that story, huh? So that's the story, but we already talked about this. If already about the story, already read about the story, I am just pushing on with the rest of the content. So if you miss out, I am not going to rewind myself. I am not going to repeat myself. Just watch the content when the live is over. When you get some time, please and thank you, okay? So this guy is basically saying right now, if he already moved out of the States, and if Diddy gets free and they found Diddy not guilty, he will be the first one on the list of maybe getting hurt from Diddy and all of that, guys. All right. So since since you guys know the other day, I said to you guys, hey guys, that man is not going to be found guilty of all of those charges. So said, so done. Didn't I not say that the prosecutor would have to get rid of some of those charges? The reason why they got rid of those charges is because they never proved none of those nonsense that they're talking about. All right? And because most of the conversation with the Punisher and most of those conversation with all of those sex workers, most of the time those women, he made most of those women call those guys, pay those guys, and interact with those guys while he's in a room jerking off us to them. Right? And not only that, most of these women that he talked to, that they claim that he trafficked, he's paying for one of them $10,000 for a condo, gave them business money, gave them businesses and all of that. And we've been shouting, oh, I've been shouting for days now, wish people who traffic you, usually pimps, traffic people, do not pay your bills. They usually just take all your money, pimp you out, abuse you, and at the end of the day, you don't have nothing and they have everything. So it's the first person who traffic woman and pay their bills and give them business, and business a boom, and them a get things out of business. It's the first traffic man. So therefore, most of these girls need to come off of OnlyFans and go find one of these people allegedly, and I'm not saying these things are right, I'm just being a sarcastic jackass at this point in time. Find one of these guys that claims that they traffic someone and let Diddy and one of these guys pay their bills. Because the first ever here in history that you're abuser, you're trafficker, you're pimper, pay all your bills. Bring it all on the red carpet, everything, and traffic you. I never heard nothing like that in my life. This one is called first when it comes to the Diddy situation. Okay, guys? So don't be surprised if you get charged for the bribery. Hell yeah, you would have to get charged for the bribery, because there goes the security guard come and talk and that he paid for that tape. And not only that, Diddy did apologize and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be a better man. And they caught him red-handed on the tape, beating the shit out of the girl, beating out the shit out of Cassie. And we saw that. Not only that, they should have charged Cassie for extortion, because there's no way you're going to say, oh, I have a book, and if you don't pay me X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to release the book, or I'm going to go file charges, or I'm going to do this X, Y, and Z. Supposed to be charged for extortion as well, right? Because in the Rihanna's husband or Rihanna's baby daddy's case, that guy that they put on the stand, that they claim say that boy shoot some gun after him. Remember that situation the other day? What did they charge that guy for almost? Extortion, because they claim say he was trying to get some money from ASAP Rocky. Remember that story? So all of these things. So I am lost and disturbed, not picking up for Diddy. He should go to jail for bribery and assault, domestic abuse, right? But the little charges that those few of those things that they dropped, they had to, because they couldn't prove it. And what's so disturbing for me, you couldn't prove arson. You couldn't prove the kidnapping, but yet so you put the woman understand and that boy understand to defame the man character, knowing that you couldn't even prove those kind of things. So if I'm a juror and I'm on that juror, even if I know that man is guilty of charge, would I find him guilty? If basically the feds them come basically and lie? Because if you're going to have saying that this man kidnapped his assistants to go to Kid Cudi house and do all of these things, you got to prove it. And the only thing we heard was that Diddy was chasing Kid Cudi. Police appear on the scene and kind of sort of situation, and then the police wrote down his license plate number. Yeah. Did the police have a did the police identify that it was Diddy? Just the plate, then we could say anybody could be driving that car. Did they find his DNA that day in that car? Could they prove that day that he flew from there to go? All of these things. So they had to drop those things, right? Remember, it's a preponderance of the evidence, right? So all of that. So don't be surprised if that man get little time in jail and anything else. And not only that, they would want to really prove racketeering charges, because then they're going to want all of his stuff. That's the only way the government can take your stuff. That's the only way the government could seize your stuff. And I already came in the past and told you, when the government sees your stuff, where it goes. They don't burn it. They don't throw it in hell. They don't lock it in the vault and say that this is bad money, drugs money, and all kind of money. That money is spent right back in the system. So the only person should get your money when you do evil or good or bad is the system. So therefore, like I've been saying over the years, lots of black family not going to have no generational wealth, even if they made it out or trying to make it out, especially black men. All right? So that's the only way the feds can take his assets, by trying to come with that racketeering charges. And we already shouted and came and already taught you guys already. Well, not taught. I shouldn't say that, because this isn't a school. This is like a content. This is a channel. So I take that back. We already spoke and discussed that the act, racketeering act and all of that came from the Italian mafia when the police trump up those kind of act. Then we came and talked about the White Slave Act, turn to the Mann Act, now turn to that act, the RICO Act. And who did they use as an example back in the days, in the past, like I shouted? The black boxer who liked a white lady, dated a white lady, and brought her across state line. I discussed this with you guys already, if you guys are paying attention to the content. But a lot of times people don't pay attention to knowledge and wisdom, to content. They want to worry about mix-up and all of these kind of things, and watch the chaotic and the craziness that's going on the internet, and watch some of these people who are leading your children and leading the generation astray. So guys, pay attention at times, because I talk a lot, but there's one and two things that make sense most of the time. Okay? Just don't come on and watch the live, bro. Rewind the live, watch the live all over. When I drop the live and everything come together and I'm off this live, everything come together. Be my guest. Take the time out to sit down and watch the content. At times, you learn one and two, and at times, the content will make more sense. Yes? So this guy said, if...
I have a lot of engagements,
Right
speaking
here.
events, a lot of podcasts. So I'm really on a European tour right now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And due to the situation and the circumstances,
Listen.
I decided that it's probably best for me to live outside of the States at this point.
Really?
Listen.
Absolutely.
So you won't be going back?
No, sir.
For how long?
Indefinitely.
Really?
Absolutely.
But you've emigrated. You've left.
Yes, I've left.
Wow.
Listen.
Why?
We've got some intel about certain things, and shout out to my brother Dugar and the rest of our team. There are some adequate and imminent threats to me.
Listen.
And, I made an agreement with my mother that at a certain age that I would eventually, try to settle down, have a family, and I wouldn't partake in violent acts and stuff like that anymore in the line of work. So, I always took my education seriously growing up, and my mom did a well job to make sure myself and my brother were cultured. So it's been a nice integration process for me. I'm loving London right now.
You think you'll set up home here?
Definitely.
Really?
Absolutely.
You feel safer here?
Definitely I do.
See?
Absolutely I do. I'm at the local Sainsbury's and
Okay.
people stopping me after our first interview. A lot of people tuned in.
Yeah, 3 million people watched that interview. It's huge.
That's huge. That's huge.
Did you get a lot of reaction to it?
You know what's so troubling and disturbing, guys, out of all this ordeal with the Diddy case? The amount of black men that got interviews that will never, ever, 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 ever would have got an interview if it wasn't this Diddy case. You know how much black men wanted to be in some of these news stations getting interviews and couldn't get it? And because of the Diddy case, a lot of them get a pass, get a stage to come and utter all kind of shit out of their mouth when they know they're supposed to be locked up as well if they know so much and know so far. Right? Kiss me teeth and pass. So that guy basically saying that he has an intel that there's threats. He has an intel that he's number one target if Diddy leave the prison. I mean, if Diddy leave the holding cell at this point. You guys watch his interview in the past, and he has a lot to say and a lot to say. Okay, guys? From there, we get to understand that Diddy, Puff Daddy, and his son in some kind of situation. They also removed the son from the trial because the son was wearing a shirt that says Free Diddy, and you're not allowed to wear a shirt like that in front of the jury. Okay? Not only that, we get to understand that Diddy and his son caught up in a new lawsuit of some sort. Okay, guys? So I don't know if you guys are watching or hearing. So as soon as the trial wrap up and everybody is right there, we get to understand that Diddy, son and him get caught up in a lawsuit. Brutal. I'm gonna meet you guys.
A bombshell new lawsuit that involves Sean Diddy Combs, but isn't against the disgraced music mogul. As Diddy is listening to closing arguments in sex trafficking and racketeering trial in federal court in New York, his son, Justin, has been hit with a lawsuit by a woman who claims that he lured her to Los Angeles to be raped by multiple men, including his dad, Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this isn't the first time that Justin has been named in a lawsuit with his famous father. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Wow, guys.
In Beverly Hills. And according to the lawsuit, things seemed fine at first, but when she allegedly asked Justin Combs if they were going to leave the house,
back it up,
LA, she was raped by several men, including a certain music mogul now at the center of this high-profile, historic trial in federal court in Lower Manhattan. Yes.
And it's still that guy who came with the Jay-Z case. He's the one who's bringing this lawsuit. So as soon as the courthouse wrap up and the people them finish their closing statement, there's a lawsuit on this boy and Diddy's son that he brought a girl and had brutally gang rape her, guys. Are you guys listening out here? Oh no. Let's continue, guys. It doesn't get any better. The storm don't get any rougher, to be honest.
Sean Diddy Combs. The alleged victim claims that Justin invited her out west for a weekend to talk about her career. But when she got there, she says she was kept in a house in Beverly Hills. And according to the lawsuit, things seemed fine at first, but when she allegedly asked Justin Combs if they were going to leave the house, he said no. She claims that Justin Combs offered her alcohol, pills, and weed, and she thinks that the weed was laced. Now, you can see in those allegations
Mighty God of
some of the
Abraham
comparisons in this lawsuit to the so-called freak-offs that we have been hearing about for weeks at the center of the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. The woman said,
people, the woman just came and dropped this case, people. It's a new case, The woman said that she's looking for opportunity like every other woman there. And the boy brought her somewhere, traffic her, and had 7 to 8 guys gang rape her. So what more can the Combs family take? Oh no. Mighty God of Abraham. Not only that, guys, there's so many other lawsuits. And remember that the law was amended that if you're underage, your lawsuit can still go on now. But and if you're an adult, remember the statute of limitation. We're not sure in many states how it goes. Or remember, sometimes they claim that the statute of limitation and rape never finish. It's always out here to knock you down. So let's finish unpack this content quick and fast.
After she took the drugs, 3 men entered the house, and all of them were wearing masks.
You're there.
It's unclear what kind of masks the men were wearing.
No more the
but
Punisher.
When I read that part, I thought about the testimony of Sheree Hayes in the Sean Diddy Combs trial.
I told
the
you.
escort known as the Punisher.
What did
He
I just say?
that during
Now
a
what's the
freak-off,
Punisher
Sean Combs
allegedly?
wore a face covering that he likened to a Muslim hijab.
Here there.
Justin Combs, the alleged victim, says that she knew that one of the men was Diddy just because of his mannerisms. But how about this? She also knew it was was Diddy because she says that Justin, as his dad, entered the home to allegedly rape a woman that he brought to LA, called Diddy, quote, Pops. Now, we see on Justin's social media that Pops is the phrase that...
So the reason why they say that Diddy is involved in this gang rape is because when that boy was introducing the girl, although he was hiding underneath some kind of Muslim wrap or whatever coverings, the little boy say, Pops, I'm tired, oh. Same like how Punisher didn't know for a year that it was Diddy until the TV said, welcome, Mr. Combs. I'm tired, oh. Hey, I'm tired, oh. Like, seriously? People, like, man, let's unpack and wrap up this live, shall we? Are you serious? Oh. So your dad is covering his face and then you out to Pops? Stay away from drugs, you all. Please stay away from drugs now. And drink responsible. Because at times, your mouth slip when you're not... Yo, I tell you, eh? Oh, my word. Anyhow, let's continue and unpack the rest of the content, shall we? This is troubling and disturbing. I don't even know where to begin, but what shall I say? Let's see if we could unpack some stuff in the phone that we tried to unpack the other day. All right? So we get to understand. Oh no, it won't let me. Why not? Okay, so it won't even let me fetch my other stuff in here. Oh, because I didn't. Oh, I know why. Never mind. I'm using a different thing. Forget about it. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. I forgot I'm using a different thing on my phone here. So if I didn't set it up the way I wanted to. Okay, never mind, guys. Let's finish talk about some other stuff. All right. From there, guys, we want to talk about one second. One second. So remember the other day I spoke to you guys. Is it this one? And I said to you guys that Rico charge came up because of the Italian mafia, right? I said so, right? Okay. And hold on. Let's see if it's this part, guys. So all of that, right? Not only that, guys, we get to understand that there was an interview and a man said that there was 8 sex tapes and 2 celeb and there was minors involved. Oh no. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better or sicker or sinister, but what can we say, guys? So we get to understand that this guy has some kind of scoop and some kind of story on Diddy, and it doesn't get any better or any worse, to be honest. Okay, let's unpack.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter.
You're there.
And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids.
Keep on listening.
On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities
Listen.
at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females.
Listen.
The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake. Courtney Burgess told his story on a podcast before he told the grand jury today, and after he told the grand jury, and I mean immediately after, he booked it over to my set, and he and his attorney talked to me.
Listen,
I should tell
guys.
you that he was very limited in how much detail he could go into about his testimony.
This is troubling,
and
guys.
Because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the video were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not. Here now is my conversation with Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell, who's his attorney. beginning with the question of whether the participants in the video even knew they were being recorded.
Oh, God.
Were there any cameras in places where you'd assume privacy, like bathrooms?
Well, I've never been in this house, but the picture, yes. Yes. That's what took place, yes.
You're aware,
So that means the camera may be
you're
hiding in
aware of-
teddy bears
of,
and all that shit.
surreptitious cameras that were recording
Well,
in private places like
I
bathrooms.
didn't see the cameras. You could tell how the person was angled. I knew that it was a camera there because I was there. You know, I was there. I don't know if the person was too tall, he was holding it or whatever, but I wasn't there.
May I ask you this, Courtney? And Ariel, you can jump in on this as well, but I want to hear from Courtney first. Your home was, and I assume it is because of this material. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that. They just went to every one of them looking for me. They said, the paperwork said the 24th, that I had to be there the 28th, and then it was 27th. I said, I can't make it there. That's tomorrow. So I don't know. From the look of it, it was 4 days.
And I want to be specific. When we talk about raid, we're talking about when a subpoena is served for documents,
That's
a
his
search
lawyer.
warrant or an arrest warrant. In this situation, Mr. Burgess was not in any way, shape, or form had a search warrant or an arrest warrant issued for him. It was just them serving a subpoena. So when the federal government needs to serve a subpoena, they use the Marshal Service to come to all of your residences if you have more than one residence. So in this situation, they sent marshals to all of Mr. Burgess's residences, and that was somehow construed or understood or turned into a raid, but he did not face a raid. It was just serve him a subpoena.
Ariel, do you believe that the subpoenas were issued and executed based on the federal authorities' knowledge that these flash drives existed and had this kind of compromising material?
I think it was based on statement.
Yo, imagine this. Imagine that. That's what they always say. Never life. Try not to be malicious, because this is Diddy having these tapes to blackmail these people, recording these people without their consent, in all kind of position, all kind of sex act. And this is the same tape that the feds turn around and use against him. You see how life is? When you try to spit in God's face and laugh. When you spit in the sky and believe there's no gravity and it's not going to hit you right back in your face, bro. It's crazy to me, eh? So this is troubling and disturbing that this man witnessed 8 celeb seen drugged and assaulted. Not only that, something about minors as well. Oh, no. From there, guys, let's talk about some other things, all right? We want to talk about this here, okay? I was trying to unpack this a couple days ago, which I couldn't unpack it. So, senior NSW police officer has been found guilty of serious misconduct for ignoring an Aboriginal man self-harming while in custody, the police watchdog found. Over a course of 3 hours, the Aboriginal man sustained head injury while in custody at the regional police. Imagine that so much people come in the Native Indians' land, get everything, endure everything, get everything for free, all these things, and the Native Indian people are still suffering, whether it's medical-wise, allegedly, whether in the police custody, and all these kind of things that are going on, people, these atrocities, always plague the Native Indian community, the indigenous community. They were here first, as people claim, and they own most of the lands everybody claim, and not yet still. They're still looking for better schools, still looking for better health care, still looking for better policing, and every day we hear all of these atrocities. So we shout out how comes, right, people? So I had to unpack some stuff in my phone because, at times, right? From there, guys, we get to understand that we get to understand that the Jamaica is asking the king for repatriation money for the slavery to UK Privy Council. And remember, the wife passed away. So many of them come up and yet still they don't even think about it to return all the stuff they have stolen allegedly, and the repatriation money for the slave to the UK Privy Council. They're just basically saying, where's the repatriation money? And I don't think they're going to pay any money anytime soon, because every day they come up here, to the king and to the queen. And yet still hasn't paid out anything of that sort. So Jamaica's asking King Charles, sir, where is the repatriation money for the slave that they need? Okay, guys? Just shouting out that quick and fast, all right? Also from there, guys, we want to talk about some other things, which, one second, I should you know what, I should have unpacked that before that, you know. 1 second, guys, let me try to give you guys a green screen here. There's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. 1 second, let me find it here in my email. Okay, so remember the other day I spoke about this man here and said that there was a compensation that he received, 78.6 million, to loss in the system. They claim he had mental illness and he spent 50 years without any trial. They basically violated his rights. The lawyer, I think ISAT, is the one who was on this case again. And we get to understand about this case when the situation was going on with you guys, artists. So right now, out here, it made news that this man really get some kind of payout. First, they said it was 120 million. But I know by the time the lawyer get their share, it's going to boil down to at least 78 million of that sort. Okay, guys? But money can buy life. Money can buy respect. Money can buy health at times. You know? So at the end of the day, I mean, that this money can buy back 50 years of this man's life. And this man not going to have over the years to spend all this money. Because if he spend, is he going to live that long to spend the rest of this money? And after they took away 50 years of his life, did the government come out and apologize until now? Anybody from the court system? Anybody came on and apologized? Not because you guys pay him, like you guys owe this man more than an apology. You understand? So this money can't even buy back this man 50 years that he lost. But at least he's out and he's free. And where was the whole Jamaica running behind this man when he came out free? This is an innocent man. Never got his day in court. Never found guilty, nothing of that sort. Lost, like maybe others, allegedly. So let's unpack.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to viewers on onespotmedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
Up first this evening, the Supreme Court has ordered the government to fork out over $100 million in damages to George Williams, a man who spent half a century in custody without trial.
Supreme Court Judge Sonia Wint Blair ruled that Mr. Williams' right to due process and a fair hearing within a reasonable time were breached.
And at least one human rights group is describing the situation as a gross miscarriage of justice.
Ramarda Lyons reports.
$120 million in damages, the amount the Supreme Court has ordered the government to pay over to George Williams, a mentally ill man who spent 50 years in custody without a trial. $78.6 million for compensatory damages and $42 million for vindicatory damages. The judgment was handed down Thursday in a wrongful imprisonment lawsuit filed by Mr. Williams' attorney, John Clark. Mr. Williams was released 5 years ago, and his family sought compensation from the government. The government at the time offered to pay Mr. Williams $6 million. It was rejected by his family. Human rights organization Stand Up for Jamaica says Mr. Williams' case highlights ongoing systematic issues within Jamaica's criminal justice system, particularly for mentally ill individuals who remain incarcerated without sentencing for decades. It adds that the fact that Mr. Williams had to wait 50 years to have his day in court is a gross miscarriage of justice, and that over 90% of mentally ill individuals have been incarcerated for over 20 years for petty crimes, languishing in conditions that exacerbate their mental health conditions. Attorney at law John Clark spoke with our news center after the judgment.
I hope that this judgment will be examined carefully by the state.
So it wasn't I
Because
it was
while
this
we
lawyer
are
that did
speaking
it.
now, there are other persons who are similar circumstance, like Mr.
So what did I say? So it should be a couple other people in that jail cell, in that prison, locked away, mentally ill. The other day they locked away Candy Wall, that they claim say Candy Wall have many alias and they don't know who she is. So they're gonna lock her away until they find her right name. Oh no. So you guys make sure that Candy Wall comes out, guys. Don't make sure she don't get locked down in the system and locked down in the system of that sort that she can't come out, right? Anyways, people, so I had to shout that all that, really come and tell you guys all of that, because more time, sometimes I don't have all of that to come and unpack most of the time, okay? We also want to talk about some other stuff. We're gonna talk about a few other things, people, and then I'm gonna wrap up this live and tell you guys thank you for stopping by as always, okay? What else? What else we want to talk about? Okay. We also want to talk about we're gonna talk about this case, but I'm gonna come back on this case another day to give you guys a full rundown on this case. But this is an ex-pervert and a dirty pervert killed a 40 young child, guys. But we're gonna come back and speak about it. But I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of the iceberg, okay?
Guilty as charged. The 48-year-old man accused of killing a 14-year-old Tampa girl now faces the death penalty after a jury of 12 found him guilty of first-degree murder. Ronnie Walker killed Alexia Alexander near the intersection of Florabraska and Highland in May of 2022 in a hail of gunfire. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports from Hillsborough County Court.
The verdict brought enormous relief for the family of Alexia Alexander, who consider Ronnie Walker a stone-cold killer. After all, Alexia was dead within just 15 minutes after he picked her up in his car. Since the moment Alexia Alexander's body was found in Tampa Heights, her family has only wanted to hear one word.
We're gonna come back and talk about this case, guys. It's a tragedy, it's a disgusting case.
For 3 years, they've wondered whether Ronnie Walker would pay the price for picking her up, driving her to a vacant lot, shooting her 3 times in the face, and hoping no one would be able to identify her.
She was a foster child
but the
too,
moment her
guys.
family saw her tattoo on news reports, they knew someone had to pay.
I could see her smiling down and say, "You did it, Mom. You did it.
That's her
You did
foster
not
mom.
give up."
Walker showed no emotion, with this capping an effort to get away with it. The third person in the car that night, Robert Creed, testified Walker threatened to kill him if he told anyone. Another witness said Walker told him he shot Alexia because he was mad about her sexual history. And prosecutors told the jury he threw the gun in the Hillsborough.
So we get to understand that this man killed her because he said that she gave him some kind of STD and he passed on the STD to his girlfriend. But you weren't supposed to be sleeping with the 14-year-old anyhow. I tell you guys, some sinister stuff happened to these children that they take away from their parents and put them in foster mom and foster care. These things are this case, but we're going to come back another day on this case, guys. I promise you guys, I'm going to give you guys a full 100 on this case. I'm just giving you guys a little bit on the iceberg. Okay, guys? Going to wrap up this live tremendously. Wrap up this live sooner or later. Okay? And all of that. All right? What else should I talk about? No, okay. So from there, guys, 1 second. Oh, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. It's here somewhere. And 1 second, guys. Oh no. Is it this one? Nope, 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 nope. Oh no. Okay, it's right here. I found it. Listen. Hold on. It's this one. So guys, I don't know if you guys heard about this case, the Khadija case, the Zaria Khadija case. She and her husband was arguing on Facebook and he ended up killing her and killing himself. Did you guys heard about that case? Let me give you guys a little bit of it and then we're going to come and talk about it another time, okay? This was the case about. Listen to it.
On full display Saturday, June 14th, as Facebook user Duchess Dior went on live during an argument with her husband, who went by the username The Frenchman. The live stream included vicious names and accusations of cheating, STDs, and then an abrupt ending after a death threat. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation would later report a murder-suicide involving Zaria and Shamarcus Carr, Facebook users Duchess Dior and the Frenchman.
Presenting a very different
Twin City, Georgia. A young mother goes live on Facebook. She's shaking. Her voice cracks under the pressure. She's trying to hold it together, but her husband won't let up. He's accusing her of things she can't prove, demanding answers she's already given, and controlling the narrative in front of thousands of live viewers. She pleads, "I gotta die if I tell what happened." And then he says it. "You're gonna make me kill you."
Yep, he
Within
did.
hours, that threat became reality. Zaria Khadija Carr, known online as Duchess Dior, was a 27-year-old mother, influencer, and entrepreneur with a growing following. She had dreams, a brand, and 2 young children she adored. But behind the everyday posts and public smiles, she was trapped in a relationship that had been eroding for far too long. The signs were there. She tried to speak out.
The man tell the whole crowd that he beat her ass. He's been beating her since they've been together. Threatened to kill her. Saying that he was cheating, she was cheating and all. So domestic abuse is never okay. But this in the black community, we like these kind of things and claim that these are healthy relationships. These are things that we're spewing on the internet. Coming to fight and carrying us to Queenie, fight and funeral. These are the disgusting, these kind of toxic relationship spewing on the internet every day, and he ended up killing her and killing himself. And now the child left with no father, no mother. Did you guys hear about that case? You guys, troubling and disturbing, guys. Seriously. Okay? Troubling and disturbing, but what can we say? If you never heard about that case, go look up that case, because I really don't want to draw out the case, but they were there fighting. And he ended up killing her. All right? End up killing her. All right? So, we have to be mindful out here. Okay? We have to be mindful out here. How we out here continue to be in a relationship when it's very abusing and stuff. All right? So, be mindful. Be very mindful how we're out here doing this kind of stuff and think these things are a joke when they're not. Okay? It's not. All right? Now from there, guys, let's get to Pretty Dan. All right? From there. Let's get to Pretty Dan for a second.
Tell you what me I use, bro. A karma me I use, me. Me know say it's illegal. Me rather karma. Me rather karma than if carry go get the 150,000 US. Me rather not see her in a jail for 6 months.
You're there.
Cause for 6 months she'll get in. You have go get. Sleeping with me in a long time, man. Mama eat me like poison.
Back it up.
Me I use, me.
Back it up.
I say, yo, make sure pay your feet down. Make sure pay your feet down. That again. Then the girl never like me a bumbo clan. He hate me like a poison. Me see she write one blood clot essay. Somebody screenshot it and send, come give me. Only thing the nastiest girl do a point finger, you know. Me I wonder how they not drop off it, you know.
You there?
All this time I use. Let me tell you what me I use, bro. A karma me I use, bro. Me know say it's illegal. Me rather karma. Me rather karma than if carry go get the 150,000 US. Me rather not see her in a jail for 6 months. Cause at 6 months she'll get in. You have go get. Sleeping with me anyway, long time, man. Mama hate me like poison. And when me see she write the essay, I know me say Mama write an essay and stay the whole time.
You there?
Over there, side. See it there? Jungle that. Dog that. Dog that. Barry, what else me I gonna do? Eh? Everybody has said lock her up, everybody has said carry her, go this. Everybody has said. Me not carry him gone to court.
So were you not supposed to lock up blonde them now before you lock up the ex-wife?
Let me tell you,
oh,
put it down. Me see mama over the pipe and me see me, you know. It don't go tell me one thing.
True.
Then me shut down like one computer, one laptop. I want him better than her. Show me that.
You there?
No matter how you tell people, say me the worst somebody per earth, girl. Remember me tell you, girl. You are the worst somebody me ever date. But let me tell you one thing. I had to meet you, come here. Me have to meet you.
So then if Camilla the worst, then how were you going to get the papers? Your mom never helped you get the papers and your mom in America. Pretty darn. No shade. Sometimes I'm really confused, boy. If you didn't meet her, where would you get the papers from? Because remember, way before you met Camille, you were running across the street because you and the other boat had some kind of issue. And the car hit you and you got over almost 200 and something thousand US, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not in your business. I'm just saying, right? And you wasted out all that money instead of go and drop out of that money on a lawyer to get your papers. And then you end up with Camille. And Camille make sure so you end up on Saturday after you have your green card. My question is, you always beat everybody out here. My question is, like how you did get charged for the assault. And Camille and the brother and everybody, they come out here, come bring you down. Did the charges drop? Were you convicted? Did you get a criminal record for it? Because if you did, green card can't save you in America. So be careful and be mindful knowing that you're walking an eggshell because that green card cannot save your mama, especially if you have domestic violence charges lingering somewhere, criminal record somewhere. And not only that, if you never meet her, who were going to give you papers? Your mother didn't sponsor you. Your mother couldn't help you. Your mom never do her diligent duty as a mother to sponsor you, right? She had to help you. And you are over the age for your mom to even sponsor. Your mom never sponsor you when you're young to give you the papers of in the green card. You were just there lingering on a visa, possible when the visa expire, or some Jamaican documents and it was kind of expire somehow. And then Camille came and even gave you wings that you could even went to Jamaica and come back up. So yes, things are not working out. Yes, she may be trifling, you're trifling. Yes, things don't work out, but you have to remember that without her, you wouldn't have that wings that you have. To be honest, I'm just saying. Just being honest, okay?
You are the best thing that ever happened to me.
I would
in
think.
My life.
Yeah, man.
See, the way we meet you, still feel the same. Still love you the same. Still all of that. You see, man, when I meet in that courtroom and I said, I did. You understand me? I did. I went there and said, me did. Because even after you do me the worst, sitting them in the earth, me love you enough to don't hurt it. Same way. Me not lay a finger upon you. Me not do nothing like that a blood clot. Me not care you got court. Me not care
No man. There was a fight pretty done. There was a fight and then buckle the fling and all of that. And then there was a second half again where she claims that the mom did get involved allegedly. No, there was a fight while they lock you up for domestic abuse. So you and Camille, what did fight? Remember Pretty Don? Oh, let's continue, people. This is crazy.
None of that. Approve to you. Say, you see, when me did say, all of me, I love you, and for me, I do, it was true.
You're there.
The whole world could have said me love you, bro.
We saw that Pretty
But I'm glad they showed the whole world.
Say what? She didn't like you?
I'm glad they showed the whole world, bro. What kind of fuck fuckery be in my life, bad man. Me glad say, you tell everybody say, I'm me a narcissist and you prove yourself to be just that. You understand me? Oh yeah, still have a kid picture in my phone the other day. I'm going to delete them because I'm bigger than you. You look a girl. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You look a picnic. So look a picnic, I'm going to do look a picnic things. You see me? I say? Yeah, man. But one thing I have to tell you. I'm bigger than you. And I made it blood clot love you for true. You don't know nothing about love. He's a bitter little girl that walk up and down in the earth. You understand me? Let me tell you something. Remember, say how much people meet we in a real life already. I will carry or go around them and every one of them will call me and attest to me. No, say I lie, yeah, blood clotting. And you, they just eat me for real and just get up and just hurt me for no reason at all. Me not stoop to your level none at all. Because you are that the butch girl that will sit up on phone and laugh about putting out my kid pitch to them. Me left it 2 hours to blood clot gun. Me not left one to courthouse. Me not left one to none of that.
So you guys know the sweps. You guys know the tea. Apparently, allegedly, Pretty Dan claimed that Camille put out and the butch put out some naked picture of Pretty Dan. I don't know. And the people them are telling Pretty Dan to go and sue her for $150,000 US or lock her up for using these kind of pic without her consent. So Pretty Dan is here venting and all of these kind of things. Oh no. Anyhow, let's continue fasting the people them business some more. And I'm going to jump off of this like hopscotch and say thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. When I come around, you will know. Okay, guys?
Who under same butch girl there? When the 2 hours sit down on phone and laugh and giggle and put out naked video them and video with you and fuck me you.
You're there.
And shit me left up God. Una karma. Me say una karma go worse than what una do me father.
You hear what happened? Back it up. Right here.
Because you are that the butch girl that will sit up on phone and laugh about putting out my kid pitch to them. Me left it 2 hours to blood clot gun. Me not left one to courthouse. Me not left one to none of that. You and the same butch girl there. When the 2 hours sit up on phone and laugh and giggle and put out kid video them and video with you and fuck me you. And shit me left up. So
Pretty Dan is basically venting, say Camille and the butch girl allegedly put out the picture them when Camille F Pretty Dan. But I thought Pretty Dan was the giver and Camille was the taker. I'm tired. But you listen, these people are very confused on earth, but I can't judge or discriminate. Are you serious? So now we find out that Pretty Dan, where all of these clerks act like a man and Pretty Dan was taking it too. Because you know they claim in these kind of relationship, you have a taker and you have a giver, people. Listen, I'm not trying to get involved. I'm only asking. So now we get to understand, say Pretty Dan still was taken too. So Pretty Dan is not the man now? Oh no. So Pretty Dan out here saying she's the man and act like a man. But then yet so she was taking it too. So Pretty Dan take and give and take. Oh, Father God. If you're not busy, I come stop your people. I'm not going to question this because I don't want to go down in you guys' lifestyle. But anyhow, let's unpack.
Me say on the karma go worse than what una do me father. Me I tell you that straight. Me say me I tell you that straight, mama. Me I worse, alright? Yeah, I worse, mama. Because I worse, somebody may have a blood clot. Because why would you take up somebody's kid video and put them out and then blame them? Are you are the reason why your marriage end? You know who fuck up your marriage? You fuck up my marriage. The cheating and the going out. The same girl where you live with right now. And the same girl you cheat on with for 2 years. You're the woman there for 2 years.
You're there.
All that 2 years they come in. They not even divorced a month. Not even a month now.
You're separated Pretty Dan.
Bucket. Mama say me a narcissist, bro. But the only reason why I continue to talk about the naked picture, I show her something. You say me hate you. Where? You should be in jail, but you're not. You and your butch.
But you know, if you go lock up Blam them first, pretty Dan. What happened to the lock up for Blam them that Blam them come at the house with gun and all of these things allegedly? What happened to all of that? So did Missy Blam them appear the other day and beat Annie off the app? And I'm like, oh my God, seriously? Like Blam them is still around? You know, and it was what was so troubling and disturbing about the situation with Blam them make a killing on a dead man's back and dead man's story. Oh, you guys would never prosper in this land, allegedly. Huh? You guys are trifling, you know. But what can I say? But anyway, really and truly. So now, she's supposed to be in jail to put out those naked picture and be in jail without any consent of putting out those naked picture. Oh, pretty done. Sometimes I think those American police are tired of you black folks, to be honest. Especially you Caribbean folks. I would think. Oh, no.
Yeah, we are the phone and laugh off of me. Picture them. You want hear she and the butch up on the phone and laugh, you know?
Hear that?
No, it was I never like that. Hear the butch now, hear the butch now. Oh, I'm thinking come in for boss boy, your girl, if a boss boy, your girl. And you know your woman treat you so good and your woman love you. I want to for boss boy, your woman. Hear she now. No, sir, we need to do that. No, sir, we not. No, sir, we not do that. I mean, listen to that.
Oh, Tidan. Tidan is going through a lot. People are going to jump off of this live, eh? Thank you for stopping by. Like I said, have a happy Sunday morning, afternoon, and evening, because this is Sunday now, and this is your Sunday topic. You know, people, you guys gonna get some topic like these or live like these around this time, because I'm not too long, guys. I am just gonna go and fall asleep. I'm exhausted and all of those kind of things because, yeah. But anyways, people, have a good night, and thank you for watching the content as always. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And big great people always come and watch, and big up the good people who always stop by no matter what. Okay, guys? Peace and love.